Hello everyone, welcome to my Chinese regulation sharing lesson. It is intended for foreign medical products manufactured outside China. I'm Xiong Xiaogang, or you can call me Henry if you think it's hard to make the pronunciation of Xiong. I'm from Beijing Canny Consulting Corporation. Have you ever heard us? Beijing Canny is a company providing services on Chinese GMP consulting, registration affairs consulting, training, gap analysis, mock audit, support for official inspection, and others. So, if you have any problems or issues or questions, you can contact us. You can visit our website www.chinacanny.com or send us emails or give us a telephone call. And another way is to scan the QR code and you will find more professional knowledge. Okay, let's get back to our topic today. The topic is Chinese good manufacturing practice. So today's topic consists of two parts: legislation structure and main contents and difference with EU GMP. Let's get started with the first one. First, we will have a look at the EU and Chinese legislation structure. For the EU, the body of EU legislation in the pharmaceutical sector is compiled in Volume 1 and Volume 5 of the publication, The Rules Governing Medical Products in the European Union. And the fiscal legislation is supported by a series of guidelines. So that's we are very familiar with the part, the Volume 4, which contains three parts. So the part 1 is the fiscal requirements for medical products. It has 9 chapters, and the part 2 it applies to active substance used as starting materials, and it has 20 chapters. For the part 3, there are some related documents for the GMP, such as SMF, SHQ9, SHQ10. In addition, there are 18 annexes for the GMP. I believe all of you are very familiar with this, so let's move on. As for the Chinese legislation, the highest level is Drug Administration Law of the People's Republic of China. It is issued by the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. So the Drug Administration Law is the highest level. And based on this, the State Council also issued regulations for implementation of the Drug Administration Law of the People's Republic of China. Besides, it is also issued a GMP, and the GMP has 14 chapters and 12 annexes. Currently, there are 2 other annexes. It is asking for public comments right now, but it has not to be effective. So based on this, we can have a clear understanding of the Chinese legislation. The highest one is the Drug Administration Law. It is written as DAL. And the next one is RIDAL. It means regulation of implementation of the drug administration law. Okay. So the part one is very simple. Let's move on to the part two. The main contents and the differences with EU GMP. Generally speaking, the Chinese GMP is almost the same as EU GMP, but there are some differences. First, let me ask you a question. What makes the difference between China and the EU? You may think about it. Okay, I have summarized it into 4 points. They are history, culture, ideology, and others. For the history, because EU has a longer medical industry history, it has more industrial experience than China. So in the Chinese GMP, there are more detailed requirements so that the Chinese manufacturers, they can follow these detailed requirements and they may do it well and meet the requirements of GMP. For the culture, we all know different culture make different national conditions, and the decision maker or lawmaker, when they need to consider the real national conditions and the capabilities when they make the decision or when they make the laws. And the third one, ideology. Different ideology makes different mindsets. People will handle an issue in a different way. So that also makes the difference between Chinese and the EU GMP. And for the last one, others. We all know some very severe medicinal incidents occurred in both China and the EU. But China and the EU may focus on different aspects. So this will reflect in their GMP regulations. Although there are differences between China and the EU, just remember, difference means different thinking and different understanding, also different value. But difference doesn't mean who is right or who is wrong. Actually, it is the respect to different thinking and different understanding. So remember, whenever a Chinese inspector gives you a finding based on Chinese regulations, it may be different from your requirements, or even it doesn't make sense, but do not argue with the inspector directly and say the inspector is wrong. The right way we recommend you to do is prepare more supporting documents and try to explain it again to the inspector. So in this way, they might accept it. Next, let's take a look at the history of Chinese GMP. The first version of Chinese GMP is from 1988, and the current version is GMP 2010 version. The implementation date for the current version is March 1st, 2011. So you can see that it has been 10 years, and the Chinese GMP has not been revised. Yes, and while the EU GMP, it will be revised time by time to make it suitable for medical industry development. So this is the difference. EU GMP it has 9 chapters for the part 1. It focuses more on recapitulation, and while GMP analysis it has I think it has 18 analysis as well as other documents such as part 3 more on focus more on detailed and directive explanation and support. While Chinese GMP it has 14 chapters, and these 14 chapters focus more on comprehensive and instructional purpose and are supported by 12 annexes as well as other provision and rules. So that Chinese manufacturer have detailed instructions to follow. This leads to a better compliance with the GMP. So according to this chart, it's very clear. 14 chapters, 12 annexes, and other provisions and rules for Chinese GMP. Okay, next let's have a look at the comparison between EU and the Chinese GMP. For each chapter of EU GMP, there are chapters to define corresponding requirements in the Chinese GMP. For example, the chapter 6 quality control in EU GMP is about quality control, and in the Chinese GMP, the chapter 10 it also specifies relevant requirements for quality control. This makes the Chinese GMP is almost the same as EU GMP. They are almost the same. And for the GMP annexes, Chinese GMP has 12 annexes right now, covering all products involved in China. And the EU GMP it has 18 annexes. Okay. From now, I will have give you a brief introduction about the main contents of Chinese GMP. During this, I will compare it with EU GMP if there is some difference. First, let's go to the general provisions. The provisions of good manufacturing practice for drugs in accordance with Drug Administration Law of the People's Republic of China and the regulation for implementation of the Drug Administration Law of the People's Republic of China are enacted to regulate the manufacturing and the quality management of drugs. Okay, this is the basic principle. Article 3, GMP as part of the quality management system is the basic requirement of production and the quality control of drugs to ensure the products are consistently manufactured in accordance with the registration requirements and are suitable for their intended use by minimizing the risk of contamination, cross-contamination, and mix-ups or errors in manufacturing process. Okay, it's a long paragraph. So first, this principle of GMP is underlined here. 4 points. Minimizing the risk of contamination, cross-contamination, mix-ups, and errors. So these 4 points are very important. They will apply every aspect of GMP. For example, premises, facility, equipment, instruments, process validation, clean validation, and so on. In each aspect, the purpose of the GMP control is to minimize the risk of contamination, cross-contamination, mix-up, and errors. So remember this. And Okay, this paragraph is also says the range of GMP. We can have a look at the chart. GMP is a part of QA, and QC is a part of GMP. The term QMS, it means Quality Management System. It has the larger scale. It includes QA, GMP, and QC. So next, let's go to the Quality Management System, QMS. In Article 5, it says the manufacturer should establish a quality objective to meet quality management requirements so that all registration requirements related to drug safety, efficacy, and quality are systematically implemented throughout the entire process of production, control, product release, storage, and distribution to ensure that the products are manufactured in accordance with the registration requirements and are suitable for their intended use. So it means you should have a quality objective. So what is the quality objective? Normally it is stated in a quality manual, and except the quality objective. In the quality manual, it also covers quality strategy, organization, facilities, and equipment, and quality assurance system, and so on. All of these measures are commensurate with the products and activities in the enterprise. And in the Chapter 2 Quality Management System, there are other three parts, other three sections for the Section 2 Quality Assurance. It is about the quality assurance. So it says quality assurance is a part of the quality management system. The manufacturer should establish the QA system with the support of complete documentation system to ensure its effective operation. Okay, so we can say that QA system is very important for GMP, right? So what is the content of the QA system? So generally speaking, it includes, but it is not limited to the following. For example, materials release, supplier management, deviation, change control, cup system, complaint and recall management, self-inspection, documentation management, and so on. Yeah. These are also incorporated into the QA system. Generally speaking, the basic content and the requirements are very similar between Chinese and EU GMP. So we can skip this. And section 3, quality control. In the EU GMP 1.9, the basic requirements of quality control are that no batch of products is released for sale or supply prior to certification by a qualified person. That is, that it is in accordance with the requirements of the relevant authorization in accordance with Annex 16. So, before a batch is released, it should be reviewed and approved and released by a qualified person. So these are the same. These are the same in the Chinese and in the EU GMP. And for the section 4, is about quality risk and risk management. They are totally the same between Chinese and EU GMP. They both mainly focus on risk assessment, risk control, output or result of the quality risk management, and risk review. They are both derived from ISAGQ9. Mm. And there is a difference. In the EU GMP, it requires periodical management review, but there is no relevant requirement in Chinese GMP. Okay, this is pretty much of it for today's sharing. And in the next lesson, we will continue sharing the rest of chapters of Chinese GMP. You are welcome to follow us to learn more about Chinese GMP. And if you have any questions or issues, please feel free to contact us by website or email or telephone or the QR code. Okay, last, you can have a look at Canny's customers. There are a lot of famous manufacturers all around the world, such as Octapharma, Bayer, Basfu, Baron, Demo, Hanmi in South Korea. Yeah, a lot of famous customers. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Thanks again. Goodbye.